100 plus predictions/questions/comments about Neuralink. Will BCI be our savior? By Dave Gervais. Will the Neuralink telepathy component be capable of detecting a lie? A. If yes, will it stop you from sending a lie? B. Or can it be used as a lie detector? C. Or will free will apply? Neuralink Prediction. I believe the human brain equals any computer on the planet. I'm unable to prove this claim, but I believe a Neuralink-enhanced human consciousness will perform like a CPU, when Neuralink learns how to program the human OS. Neuralink/SpaceX Prediction. Future Mars missions will use humans as computers to save space and weight on the craft. Each human becomes a backup CPU. Neuralink Question. If an email is sent through thoughts instead of some physical input into a Turing device, who sent it? The mind or the body? What happens when the user is intoxicated? Can they drunk text 500 people in minutes or seconds? What if they send nudes? Neuralink Question. How will you send a thought with Neuralink? Do I have to compose it in my head and think send? How do I review it in my head? Will I visually see my words? Neuralink Telepathy. How will I know the thought is going to the correct person? Can I maintain an affair while using Neuralink and talk to both my wife and mistress and be guaranteed I will never make a mistake sending? Neuralink Telepathy. Will the speed of communication be limited to the slowest participant? Will I have to wait while people think, or will it be more like a verbal conversation? If the Neuralink software can recall an old memory, can it also wipe a traumatic memory? Are we changing our consciousness if we are manually blocking memories? Will you restrict this feature? Shouldn't the user have the right to choose what to remember or forget? Who is the expert in humanity? Neuralink, or each individual user? Who can prove how important or unimportant each memory is? If a user programs out all the bad memories, is it permanent or do the memories return once Neuralink is removed? Will Elon Musk take personal responsibility for any deaths caused by the Neuralink device? Or is it buyer beware? Will Elon Musk release the Neuralink algorithms that show how the brain works and how it can be programmed? If yes, how can he ensure the logic isn't used for evil or manipulation? Can I write my own software and program a naive person to be my personal slave? If two Neuralink users can communicate telepathically safely without fear of accidentally saying something, and the speed is significantly faster than any current form of human communication, will verbal communication seem archaic, childlike? Elon Musk. Will Neuralink split society? Would this be good, bad, ugly? Or the first step into a new form of society? What about sex with Neuralink? Can Neuralink record an orgasm? What happens when you play it back in your head? Do you have an instantaneous orgasm? Will Neuralink release a pet version for cats and dogs? Will I be able to finally call my cat a jerk and he'll understand? Or will he just tell me off? What about clarity with Neuralink? I believe every human possesses a photographic memory. Is Neuralink activating my past memories temporarily or restoring them permanently? If past memories are all restored at once by Neuralink, will the user require psychological counseling? How will the counseling work? How could a non-Neuralink user counsel someone without experiencing the effect of memory restoration? What about animals Neuralink? Can you prove animals feel pain, fear, love? If yes, will humans care or change our behaviors? Assuming Neuralink releases the source code that allows me to program my own brain, can I write a routine that removes the ADHD thoughts in my head? Or the thoughts that precede the ADHD feelings? Elon Musk. A year ago, I woke up in a hospital with amnesia. If Neuralink was fully functional, would I have been able to install one and recover my past memories? Or would you need a previous image of my brain? Will Neuralink be able to simulate the effects of pharmaceuticals on the brain? If yes, does the user have an obligation to compensate the creator of the original drug? Do or can podcasts become thoughtcasts with Neuralink? Maybe a thoughtcast could be live and the system could automatically compile the opinion of the users. Eventually any Neuralink telepathic type communication will allow users to produce large quantities of thoughts worthy of sharing, but what about the non-Neuralink users? Are they forced to filter through thousands of thoughts? Or will they be transcribed into books? Assuming knowledge can be downloaded with Neuralink, will any traditional educational facilities be required in the future? Why force our offspring to attend school if we can simply install a Neuralink and download the knowledge or the entire experience? How does that Neuralink stop clients from using the additional cognitive skills and memory for evil? To harm others? Who decides how the product is used? Will past convicted criminals be refused by Neuralink? Could that Neuralink eventually be used as a voting device? 100% reliable and allowing for rapid opinion voting? What happens when that Neuralink restores memories of sexual abuse? A. Is counseling provided? B. Will the police be contacted? C. How would the prosecution use Neuralink memories? D. Would the defendant need a Neuralink to defend themselves on an equal level? At Neuralink, I predict people's head will explode when they realize how much data their brain was holding back. I've experienced my life flash before my eyes and it was extremely traumatic. Too much information, too many memories, too clear. Life is a fog at Elon Musk. If there is a delete button in the Neuralink for memories, why can't we simply delete any past behaviors we are not proud of, or maybe were illegal, and then play dumb? I know nothing about the officer. Yes, I'll take a lie detector test. At Elon Musk, will the judicial system eventually be able to serve a search warrant on a client's Neuralink data? A. How will Neuralink protect the user? B. Who owns the data? C. Where/how is the data stored? D. How can you prove 100% security? 34. Where does the liability for any harm created due to the Neuralink implant and for Elon Musk begin with the user? Has Neuralink consulted with experts in the psychology field? Especially with regards to individuals who experience a sudden recall of their memories? Or those who have lost them completely and then suddenly restored? If a doctor and a patient both use the Neuralink product, would the patient be able to send the feeling of their illness to the doctor? In my case, I suffer from severe tinnitus, but it's nearly impossible for the doctor to understand the level of distress. If Neuralink doesn't release algorithms, or Neuralink contains restrictions, are you now the morality police at Elon Musk? If Neuralink allows telepathic conversations at any level, are emotions felt during the conversation? At what speed? Our normal conversational rate or a significantly higher Neuralink rate? At Elon Musk, will a new type of lawyer be required for Neuralinkable individuals? At Elon Musk, how do you merge the math of Neuralink with the psychology of humans? At Elon Musk, I predict Neuralink will eventually be a requirement for SpaceX astronauts. Or maybe all of your employees throughout all of your companies. At Elon Musk, if Neuralink allows me to play back a song in my head repeatedly and for a lifetime with perfect audio clarity by only listening to it once, how does the artist collect royalties? Why would I ever need to purchase music again? At Elon Musk, if I download a book with Neuralink, am I downloading the words or the intent of the author? Will you be able to transfer the author's feelings and emotions to the reader? At Elon Musk, I suggest you give the top 1,000 physicists worldwide a free Neuralink on the condition they work together to solve gravity. It will save you trillions at SpaceX. 45. I predict Neuralink will split families. Temporarily or permanently is dependent on the software Elon Musk develops. At Elon Musk, I have a severe speech impediment and I'm functionally mute. How will Neuralink help me? Will it help me before I'm completely dismissed by society? I predict Elon Musk and Neuralink will be sued in the future to provide a customer's Neuralink data to either law enforcement, or a court in a civil lawsuit. I predict Neuralink and Elon Musk will develop a foolproof voting application. At first it will be used by small groups of Neuralink users, maybe a family, or maybe a classroom of college students. At Elon Musk, I suggest after Neuralink your spinal injuries, the next group of individuals on the planet who desperately need assistance are the autistic. Please help. At Elon Musk, obviously you will be able to connect Neuralink with your Tesla car, but with what functionality? Only to control the music in the car, or do the driver's eyes now become cameras for the car? I predict Neuralink will eventually be able to store our consciousness, but there will be a delay, decades, before our consciousness can be transferred to a new body, probably cloned. During this delay our minds will be held in stasis. Is this purgatory? If Neuralink eventually transfers the consciousness from the original body to a new body, effectively cheating death, does that make Elon Musk God? Assuming Neuralink was solely his idea. If Neuralink gives me a photographic memory, will I never be able to lie to my wife and say I don't remember? Is lying an inherent right of humans at Elon Musk? If I have an Neuralink implant and I'm on a plane where both pilots are incapacitated, can I quickly download the required knowledge to keep the plane in the air? Or can I temporarily give another Neuralink user access to my mind and body to control the aircraft? I'm 55 years old and have been typing for 30 years. I type accurately at 100 WPM. What will the transfer rate be with Neuralink? Or will Neuralink eliminate the need to write? Elon Musk Neuralink 1. If Neuralink can reprogram me to lose weight, how is cause of my original weight gain addressed? Or am I locked into using a Neuralink to maintain my weight? Or what if I'm lazy? Can I eat anything I want and Neuralink will adjust my metabolism accordingly? How will Neuralink cure depression Elon Musk? A. Digital drugs? B. AI therapy? C. Live therapy with a Neuralink-enabled therapist? D. Blocking or erasing depressing memories? E. Or will Neuralink balance all the brain chemicals, eliminating all chemical imbalances? I predict Neuralink-type devices will bring world peace by year 2071. Elon Musk will be hated by all remaining beauty pageant contestants. 59. If in the future when my Neuralink device doubles my work output, should I be paid double? Especially if I'm employed by any of the Elon Musk companies? Or will it show I was a slacker who should have been fired? Elon Musk, will the Neuralink telepathy option contain a universal translator similar to, or exactly like Star Trek? Or will a new binary language be created? Who decides the meaning of each word? Elon Musk, if the psychoactive effect of a drug is even 1%, then why can't the other 99% be created by Neuralink? Digital prescriptions? Bitweed? In the future, after I have Neuralink implanted, will I bring home a copy of my consciousness on a hard drive? In a database format? Select date time from David Gervais where tinnitus interrupted or prevented sleep, order by date, auto email to doctor. If through the Neuralink testing it's determined animals feel significant pain and suffering, are we all guilty of animal abuse? On the other hand, if they don't have emotions similar to humans, should we release any past guilt? Elon Musk, if the brain consumes 20 to 30% of the body's calories, will an enhanced Neuralink brain use higher levels? Or lower? Elon Musk, a Neuralink-enabled person will be like a cell phone that continually records with all cameras, microphones, and sensors. Based on the Depp Heard lawsuit, how many new and very complicated lawsuits will be created when everyone can record everything? Elon Musk, if I owned Neuralink, I would make the first rule of telepathy: only speak about telepathy with telepathy, just for fun. Elon Musk, will Neuralink eventually allow humans to access features of other mammals? Like dolphins who can put half their brain asleep? If they can, why can't we? Elon Musk, if I owned Neuralink, these would be my rollout plan. 1. Spinal injuries / paralysis 1. Blind, deaf, mute 2. Physical brain injuries 2. Psychological injuries 2. Addicts 3. General public 4. Pet version, especially cats. Elon Musk and Neuralink, I think point number 69 speaks for itself. I predict after about 10,000 Catholics are implanted with Neuralink, the true extent of the abuse perpetrated by priests / nuns will become apparent. Neuralink will expose the Catholics' empire of lies. Elon Musk, if physicists finally figure out how to use quantum entanglement for communication, is your plan to send robots to Mars and control them remotely, in real time, with Neuralink from Earth? Or Mars orbit? Or during the astronauts' boring trip to Mars? All three? I predict no one will read these tweets, but Elon Musk will somehow use one of my ideas and I'll sue him and Neuralink for $1 billion. However, when I win, easily, I'll give the money to Neuralink rehab programs for individuals addicted to downloading knowledge. Elon Musk, what law is preventing you from using one of your Neuralink install robots on yourself? Alone in your home? Or on a secluded island? Ask Mr. Depp, he's busy at the moment. If you invented it, why not use it as you please? Behind closed doors and only on yourself. Elon Musk, I'm sure someone has already asked you, but will you be the first human to be Neuralink implanted? I don't care one way or the other, but I'm curious, like a cat. Elon Musk, back to sex. If 100,000 male at Neuralink users anonymously submitted their data to an AI for analysis, could it determine if circumcised men experience less pleasure? Or more? Or equal? And maybe the AI could confirm if the baby felt pain during the procedure? At Elon Musk, how would at Neuralink FaceTime work? Would I have to look in a mirror while I communicate to send my image? Would the other person show up in my head, or would it be simulated and projected? Maybe on the wall beside the mirror? A controlled hallucination? At Elon Musk, although I'm indifferent towards at Tesla, I can't afford a car. May I suggest you start painting them with unique patterns? Eventually there will be so many no one will feel special driving one. I see at least 4 or 5 on my daily walk to 7-Elevens. It's getting boring. At Elon Musk, I suggest you test at Neuralink on prisoners. Especially those with a likelihood of innocence. Or those on death row. Maybe they can remember more details to exonerate themselves. Or maybe they can donate their data, why they killed someone, before they die. At Elon Musk, what if I download every book with at Neuralink and then can't write because every sentence seems like plagiarism? Like I've heard it somewhere before. Will at Neuralink destroy traditional forms of writing? Would anyone care? At Elon Musk, the DSM-5 is written by individuals who primarily only observe the conditions listed in the manual. Few have lived as patients with the labels applied. I predict an AI with anonymous volunteered at Neuralink data will rewrite the DSM for the non-BCI enabled. At Elon Musk, any way we can deal with the abortion issue? Have you implanted at Neuralink in any pregnant animals? Maybe a fetus edition could be created? Test and see when the lights are turned on? I predict if at Elon Musk retweets one of my tweets about at Neuralink, he'll go from 1 follower to 1,000 in an hour, and 10,000 by the end of the day. How many will be automated bot accounts? How many humans? What if at Neuralink creates superintelligence but at the cost of calories? Smart, but ravenous, and requiring triple the caloric input of regulars. Or alternatively, no calories are required. Will Elon Musk save or destroy the food industry? More haters or lovers? At Elon Musk, if our memories are our personalities, do I risk becoming more or less of myself when at Neuralink restores painful memories I've suppressed for decades? Can I try before I buy? At Elon Musk, I predict no other company will approach BCI with surgical implants, only at Neuralink. The competition, probably at Apple, will incorporate it into glasses of some sort that are almost as good as at Neuralink but fail in one critical aspect: on-demand orgasms. Who will be smarter than at Elon Musk once millions can use at Neuralink? Would it be irony or the hater's wet dream if the device for some reason didn't work on Elon Musk and he eventually becomes the dumbest man on the planet? At Elon Musk, maybe your at Neuralink install robot could practice on individuals who are brain dead and about to have their plug pulled? Doctors measure brain activity externally. Maybe Neuralink would detect activity at levels current equipment cannot detect? At Elon Musk, Wim Hof discovered a secret human ability, probably lost for years. How many new human features will be rediscovered with at Neuralink? Maybe we don't need electronic telepathy? I predict at Neuralink will ruin the porn industry. Once our memories are fully restored, every past sexual experience will feel like it happened yesterday, and every porn you ever watched will be replayable in your head, probably in VR. Spank banks will overflow. I predict at Neuralink will end the need for video game consoles. Elon Musk will release an open-source gaming platform software that allows any teenage girl/boy to produce games or worlds like GTA 5. At Elon Musk, at Neuralink tech support question. Hi, since installing Neuralink I keep receiving a memory of my grandparents having sex in the room while I was a baby. Can you remove this image from my head permanently? At Elon Musk, can we implant the Queen with at Neuralink before she dies? Imagine the stories, the lies, the truth. At Neuralink future tech support. Hi, thank you for curing my tinnitus, much appreciated. Finally, I'll be able to listen to Elon Musk address the world from Mars. I predict at Elon Musk will become Cupid when at Neuralink is commercial. Many old people like me will remember past loves and reconnect. Sure, some will have affairs, but that will confirm we are still human. At Elon Musk, is there any way we can get a couple of temporary at Neuralinks installed on Johnny and Amber? Let's see who is the better liar/actor. I predict at Neuralink will destroy the photography industry. However, Elon Musk will find a way to recycle all the cameras into probably robot eyes. At Elon Musk, I predict at Neuralink will end, not reduce, the need for psychiatric medications. At Elon Musk and at Neuralink. I still remember at Wayne Sky playing hockey in Edmonton. No suggestions, just a comment. At Elon Musk. I predict I'll be the first person in my country to be installed with at Neuralink. At Elon Musk. I cranked my programmable hearing aids up to the max volume and now I can hear, eavesdrop, on conversations across the room. Is this what at Neuralink will be like? The first at Neuralink conspiracy. At Elon Musk will mine our thought data for profit. I predict when at Neuralink becomes the first trusted lie detector, the market for BCI will collapse. Same as at Elon Musk, both our mothers were born in Saskatchewan, Canada, both are still alive. Different, he talks to his mother, I don't. Same as at Elon Musk, both have some version of autism. Different, he's the world's richest man, my net worth is $0. At Neuralink will even the playing field. What if every neuron in our body is a qubit? Or what if the sum of our body is a qubit? At Neuralink conspiracy theory. At Elon Musk is planning on using humans as qubits. At Elon Musk assuming your algorithm will protect the at Neuralink user's anonymity. Can I get a license to open a virtual telepathic rehab? The first truly anonymous 12-step environment? Or will at Neuralink eliminate all addictions the day it's implanted? 108. At Elon Musk. I assume the first users of at Neuralink will be desperate loners like myself who would risk surgery and possible lifelong medical complications for an opportunity to communicate clearly with others for even a month. I predict the first at Neuralink thoughtcast will be at Joe Rogan, at Elon Musk, and at Ricky Gervais. At Elon Musk. I predict at Neuralink telepathy with built-in lie detection will end many marriages. However, I also predict anyone who meets and falls in love via at Neuralink will live happily ever after. Both outcomes born out of purely honest conversations. At Elon Musk predicts we'll eventually transfer our consciousness into a new body. If this occurs, does my first body have to die before I can activate my second? Are both alive for a while as a backup? If I have to kill my first body, would it be suicide or murder? At Elon Musk. What if thoughts are the only thing not governed by physics? At Elon Musk. At Neuralink feature request, if after I'm implanted, I still receive random errant thoughts, can you have the system set them aside until I'm ready to think about the random thought? Or will random unknown thoughts be a thing of the past? Has any interviewer asked at Elon Musk if he has a photographic memory? Or more specifically an autistic memory? And then ask him the difference? I predict at Neuralink will allow us to think like Elon or other similar individuals. At Elon Musk. I've already been labeled as odd and awkward. Will I need to hide my at Neuralink implant from others to prevent more labels? I predict a scene in the future where at Neuralink, or any BCI-enabled person, will be stopped on their way into a classroom and be forced to prove their implant is not active. Maybe we'll need a flashing red in-use LED on top of their head? I predict many industries are destined to fail/end because of at Neuralink and at Elon Musk, especially psychology. Once you can review your own life calmly, the opinion of others who do not have access to your full memories are meaningless. At Elon Musk. What if telepathy was our original form of communication and spoken language was used to encrypt thoughts? Or block the ability of others to read your thoughts? Or maybe while you speak the telepathy is blocked? Maybe at Neuralink isn't needed for telepathy? Both at Elon Musk and at Rick Geode enjoyed computer coding as a teenager. No friends. I don't think Elon has problems making friends anymore. The end.